Well, these are pictures you may not have seen after the game at Ellen Road, which ended 3-3 as an unused sub. But Mo Salah went over to the away end and spent a long time clapping them and waving at them. Pretty unusual behaviour from a player who didn't play. But now with hindsight, it appears Salah was saying goodbye to the away fans, as this was the last Premier League away game before he leaves for the African Cup of Nations. A few minutes after Salah did this, he went to the mix zone and began by discussing the fact he's been on the bench for the last 3 games.
In the bench, I think it's my first time in my career, but I'm very disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed, to be fair. I have done so much for this club. Everybody can see that during the years, and especially last season. Sitting in the bench, I don't know why. Seems like the club is throwing me under the bus. That's how I feel it. I think it's very clear that someone wants me to get all the blame. The club promised me in the summer for a lot of promises and nothing. So far, I'm in the bench 3 games, so I can say that they keep the promise. And I said that many times before. I had a good relationship with the manager, and out of the sudden, we don't have any relationship. I don't know why. It seems to me, how I see it, it's someone doesn't want me in the club. But again, this club, I always support it. My kids will always support it. I love the club so much, and I will always do. Now I called my mom yesterday because I knew you guys didn't know that I'm gonna start or not, but I knew. Yeah. I called my mom and dad yesterday. I told them come to Brighton game. It doesn't matter if I play or not. I'm gonna enjoy it. We'll see what's gonna happen, but in my head, I'm going to enjoy that game if I played or not, if I'm in the bench or not, because I don't know what's gonna happen now. So I'm just gonna be in Anfield, say goodbye to the fans, going to Africa Cup, because I don't know what's gonna happen when I'm there. So,
what do you do with the situation now, Mohamed?
It's not acceptable for me, to be fair. Like, I don't know why that happened always to me. Like, I don't get it. I think if I'm somewhere else, every club will protect his player. I don't know why I'm in that situation now. But again, it's how I see it now. It's like you throw Mo under the bus because he's a problem in the team now. But I don't think I'm the problem. I have done so much for this club to get the respect I want to get. And I don't have to go every day fighting for my position because I earn it. People will say, you're not bigger than... I'm not bigger than anyone. I earn my position. This is football. Yeah. So it is what it is.
When you say that about the Brighton game, you mean that possibly it could, be your last game, you consider your future in January, perhaps?
Yeah, in football you never know, but I don't accept the situation, to be fair. Again, I've done so much for this club.
Absolutely explosive stuff. Quick summary of some of the biggest lines. He said, it seems like the club has thrown me under the bus. He said, I said many times before that I had a good relationship with the manager, and all of a sudden, we don't have any relationship. He went on, yesterday I said to my parents, come to the Brighton game. That's next weekend, next Saturday. I don't know, he says, if I'm going to play or not, but I'm going to enjoy it. I will be at Anfield to say goodbye to the fans and go to the Africa Cup. And one of the other big lines, I am not bigger than anyone, but I earned my position. Welcome inside our studio this Sunday morning. Now that is a story. Lee Dixon, Robbie Mustoe, Rebecca Lowe. Robbie, let me start with you. What's the biggest line?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, that summarised so much was spoken there. So many troubling words, I got to say. I've earned my position might be the thing that jars me most of all. I've earned my position for what I've done at this club. This is not acceptable to me to be out with the team. That's what he's talking about. And we'll get into all the details, but for any player, Rebecca, to feel like they are undroppable or they have some divine right to always be in the team is crazy. That's crazy. That's a deluded, entitled superstar that feels like the manager wants him out of the club. I'll say it, he kind of said it there, that somebody wants me out of the club. It's just crazy. Everybody has to sit on the bench. And instead of coming out with this public statement, how about fighting for the team, for the manager, for the fans, of them supporting you? Of course, he's been magnificent for them. But a 2-year mega contract, the first little sign of some tough times for the team, the manager and him, and he goes publicly saying, this is not acceptable, I don't know what's going to happen now. I think we all know what's going to happen. He's probably going to leave the club.
Where do you start, Lee?
We've got highlighters all over the place. I've run out of ink.
The thing that gets me is that it's very similar to what Robbie said, but the club always is bigger than the player and has to be bigger than the player. That's the thing that stands out for me, is because if you don't have that situation, then what if 3 or 4 of the other players think the same? All of a sudden, you've got anarchy on board. You've got a manager who's got players completely out of control. So the club has to be the main focus. It's Slot's main focus. He's trying to do a job. This is professional sport. We're not in the schoolyard playing, you know, as a 9-year-old. This is professional sport. That's why it's called professional. You get paid handsomely. He says, well, all the things I've done for the club. Absolutely. He's a legend of the club, or he was. Whether he's seen like this later on, and we don't know how this is going to end, but he's third highest record goal scorer for the club. So he is a legend. But you cannot behave in a way that jeopardises Liverpool Football Club. And that's the most important thing, bar none, bar anything. They're a brilliant football club. They're trying to run it in a way. Slot's trying to get them up the league. And all of a sudden, he's throwing his toys away and saying, do you know what? It's not my fault. Part of the problem. He is part of the problem because his numbers are right down, so he has to take the consequences of that, and that might be sitting on the bench for a bit. Just grow up. Just be representative of Liverpool Football Club with that badge on your chest and show yourself to have a bit of pride in that, not just about you. And then other things.
Well, let me have another go. So best practice, right, or what's normally done at football clubs, if I'm unhappy or Lee Dixon's unhappy, he's been left out of the team, you go knock on the manager's door and you kind of have out a little bit. What's going on? Why am I not in the team? What can I do better? Like, and then you come out of there and then you work harder on the training ground. You work harder to fight your way back into the team. Now, if there's a world where some players are not prepared to do that because they've earned position, I don't know where you go from that, because to Lee's point, what, 4 or 5 have the same opinion. As soon as they're out the side, you know, that's it. They down tools and they publicly criticise the manager. It's almost laughable, really, in terms of the thing that's going on in Mo Salah's head that feels like, what, they're throwing me under the bus? Like, no, you haven't been playing well and they're trying other people.
I'm ready to go again.
Go, please.
Slot's decision to leave him out, they had a draw. They were 2-0 up yesterday. He was on the bench. Liverpool scored 3 goals. He's a goal scorer. His job is to score and create goals. They created and scored 3. At 2-0, if Konate, I'm sorry, I'm going to throw him under the bus, if Konate hadn't given that penalty away and then made a ridiculous decision to take the position he did and give 2 goals back to Leeds, they would have won that game comfortably, Liverpool. And Slot would have said, you're on the bench and we won 3-1 or 3-0. But that didn't happen. So, but his timing of it with him going away, and the performance of clapping to the fans and going, yeah, it's, you know, I'm with you and all this. He's not with the fans. He's literally thrown the fans under the bus, because all of a sudden now he's going, I'm bigger than you lot and I'm bigger than this thing with the badge on the chest. And that is not true. So he has to take a really long look at himself in the mirror and go, what is it all about? What am I doing to this club that I supposedly love?
There's history in terms of him dramatising his personal situation, his contracts. The last 2 contracts at the club, we've all known about it. He goes to the mixed zone and does his interviews and says things like, I don't know, they've not spoke to me, I've not got a contract offer. Gets everybody talking. He at certain times, he uses the media and then the media at greater to try and get his point and to get the backing to get what he wants. And whether he's trying to do it now, Rebecca, with Arne Slot, whether he's sort of saying, listen, I don't know what it is about him, but I have no relationship right now. It feels like, well, the club are going to back the player, or are they going to back the manager?
Well, go.
I think this is Liverpool Football Club, and I don't want to put them above any other football club. I think all clubs should have a similar sort of relationship with their players. And he is, let's not forget how good he is. But ultimately, Liverpool, this is not the Liverpool way. And I think that the end of this, however it ends up, should be the fact that he drifts off and goes to wherever he's going to go. And Liverpool is the winner in this. And that they're going to lose one of their best ever players. I can't see any way back from this, but the manager and the club have to be the winners here. No exception.
You can imagine the Zoom calls going on between Boston and Liverpool today amongst the ownership group. I'm sure they're coming up with a plan because, of course, this week they've got Inter Milan away from home. Next week it's Brighton at home next Saturday. Yeah. So with the Inter Milan game on Tuesday, that means that Arne Slot will have a press conference tomorrow. How does he deal with it, Robbie? If you were advising him,
I think how I would, and I think how he will. He'll try and he'll not gloss over it, but he'll try and take the moral high ground. And it's frustrating to hear one of our players, feels this way. I know. I mean, I've listened to every press conference on Arne Slot, and he always says he's a great player. It's not easy to leave him out the side. He'll say the same kind of stuff. And to Lee's point, the next couple of games they've got, he's going to disappear to the African Cup of Nations. And at that point, he said it himself, I don't know what's going to happen. Well, I think I know what's going to happen. I think Saudi Arabia clubs are going to be like, oh, here we go. I think they're going to, this is the chance to get our man, who will be a headline superstar in Saudi. And Liverpool Football Club, to Lee's point, will probably say, OK, we're paying him £400,000 a week. What's the fee from Saudi to mitigate some of the costs they put into the player? And the player probably realises, OK, the club are going with the manager. I go to Saudi.
I just seen that comment coming up on the screen. We don't have a relationship. Unlucky. You get on with it. You whether you like the manager or not, obviously you like him a lot when they're picking you. If you don't, you kind of like a little bit like that. But I just get on with it. I just want to take you into the dressing room now. Any dressing room that I played in, when players have a spat with the manager or the club, you're on the players' side and you're kind of going, yeah, can you get more money? There's all sorts of things going on. But if I was in that dressing room now, I'd be looking at him. If I was Van Dijk, and I'd be going, I'd go, what? I'd have dragged him off where he was when he was waving at the fans, because it was obvious what he was doing. I said, come on, Mo, down the tunnel. That is unacceptable. I'd got him in that dressing room and I said, what are you doing? See us lot over here, we're trying to win football matches, and you're doing that and saying things about this club. That would not have been accepted in any dressing room I played in, not one.
One more thing. Can you imagine what the dressing room's like right now, by the way? You got Virgil van Dijk that's under pressure, that's kind of snapping to the media. You got Alexander Isak that went on strike, down tools to get into this football club. You got Mo Salah that kind of wants out, thinks he's been thrown under the bus. That's quite the mix of personalities in there and potential unhappy players. Arne Slot, mate, that's what a job he's got now to try and steady the ship.
But you might say, well, that's the modern sport, and if that's modern sport, I'm glad I'm retired and I'm not playing in it, because I couldn't cope with that. I couldn't cope with a player doing that to my team.
Will he wear a Liverpool shirt again?
No.
No.
Wow. As if Liverpool didn't have enough problems. Their star player of the past 8 years has put the club in a highly tricky position. Who wins this bout, Mo Salah or Arne Slot? That is the big story this Sunday morning.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long, and for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.